Hey folks, welcome back to this video on, obviously this is the lockdown day of tying, so there's quite a few of us, some really good names, David McPhail, you've got Reese, Sonny, myself, Lindsay Simpson, Steve Cullen, I think it's Alistair Mann as well, another one, so you've got tons of guys on here doing these videos for today, and this is my contribution. So we're going to start off, and this is a Fuller Mill stream hook. This is a size 6. So it's quite a big one. So this is the hook for our streamer for today. So the thread we're actually going to use, I'm using this 140 denier. This is the black UTC. I'm going to start this at the eye. I'm going to take it towards the back of the hook, or hook, whatever you want to call it. I say hook from where I'm from. Take it all the way back, just as it very slightly bends around the shank. Come over with your scissors, trim off the excess. It's quite a simple fly, this one. There's nothing complicated about tying these Sculpins. They do look a bit daunting, I've got to admit, but they're not. So next step is this here. This is basically some straggle gold with UV running through it, and we're going to tie this in at the back. I'm just going to run our thread forward and then just run it back to secure it. And then very simply, all you're going to do is just wind this down the shank, round about halfway down the shank. One more, and there, oops, it didn't tighten my hook and the vise. Halfway down the shank, and then do 3 over the top and 3 in front, so just like that. Come in, trim off your excess. Now what we're going to do is just pull everything back and then just do a few more wraps over the top. Now what you need to do now is just spin your thread counterclockwise. This is basically going to flatten my thread, because what I need to do is I need to incorporate the next material. So I've already added, this is just some grey Zonka strip or natural Zonka strip into my Petitjean clip. Now I'm just going to trim off the excess on this side, and then just try and level that out slightly so it's relatively level in my clip. And if you get your other clip, put it over the top, clamp down. Now squeeze with my right hand, release the other one. I messed that up a little bit because it's falling out the clip because I caught it in the hook, in the vise, sorry. Now I'm going to put this just back in the clip. So I've just put it back in the clip there just because it fell out with the other clip because I caught it on the hook. There we go. Now again, put your clip over, loosen, pull. Next step, just grab some scissors, come in, just trim up, cutting off. So there is your Zonka strip. So now just run your finger down your thread, and then use your nail to push up, and basically you've got like a little flat spot here, so grab your dubbing needle and then you just split your thread so there's a nice little gap in between. Now take your Zonka strip, just put that inside with the clip, just leave a few millimeters sticking out on the other side. Now what I'm going to do is just keep my thread tight and just push these little bits down just very gently. You've got to be very careful because you can push them out really easy. And all this have to do is put your left hand on your thread if you're left or right handed, and then with your right hand spin your bobbin. Just spin it for a few seconds and then run your fingers up your thread. Now I'm going to spin it again, oops, without banging it off my desk. Spin it again for another 4 or 5 seconds and then spin it up again. Now all we need to do is wind it, and each time you wind it, brush the fibres back. If you don't brush them back, what will happen is they'll kind of end up in just a big messy clump. So there is your kind of cloak section at the front of this streamer. What you're going to do now is get your whip finish tool, just do a 5 or 6 turn whip finish. Now this is a separate Zonka strip, and this is a 5mm thickness Zonka strip, and what I've done is I've tapered it, so that's like the tape, it's like a rough taper at the very end, just to create the tail, and that's the head, so it's going to fold over. So what you need to do is you need to measure it, and just where you want your Zonka strip to stop on the back end, and on the front end you measure it, so that's where I need to put the hook through. So I'm just going to loosen the hook in the vise, take it out, and then I'm going to stick the point through, so I'm putting the point through the leather section, there we go, and then once it's through, you now put your hook in the vise upside down. Now what I'm going to do is going to move my vise up so you can all see. So there's your Zonka strip on. So what you want to do with this is flatten the other Zonka you put round there. Just be careful your fingers here because you will catch it on the hook shank, sorry, the hook point, and it freaking hurts. So just pull that forward, tighten it in. Just like that, nice and simple. So now when you come out you'll have your nice Zonka strip, and that is your nice tail. So we'll just place that back in the vise. Next step, I need to grab these out because I put it back away, is we're actually going to use, if you've got a jungle cock cape, you have to use the feathers up here, these ones, the under feathers. We're actually going to use these to create some fins. So I'm going to grab another one, so I've actually got one here already. What we're going to do, we're just going to strip them back, just so you've got, that's your fin. Now I'm just going to pull these out of the way, put this on the side, tie one in, there we go, there's one nice big fin, because on their Sculpins the fins are quite pronounced on them, they're quite big. So you want the nice pronounced big fins on the side. And there's our second one. I'm just going to check the positioning of these, just so they're right on the sides. Very, very slightly pointing downwards. There we go, pretty much perfect. Well, not perfect, but they'll do. Now before I do any more, I'm just going to trim these off the length that's left on this shank, just so I can then secure them in. And then come in with your thread, run your thread down to the eye, and then back up. I'm just going to pull off these bit of fluff because we don't need that bit of fluff. Now come in with your whip finish tool and just whip your fly down. Just so you know, my son's in. It's quite actually late, so he might come flying in my room. So it's fine if he does, you know, it's just one of those things. I'll just try and brush all these feathers back. There's actually a bit of fur there which needs trimming, otherwise the super glue will stick to it, so we need to put super glue on this. I actually use the Gulf super glue gel. It's quite thick, but I like that. Now what I'm going to do is just run this super glue gel all the way around here, quite a lot of it. I'm actually just turning the vise as I'm going. I'm sorry if the fly went out of your sight there. So I've got quite a lot of super glue now on the head. Now you want to grab, this is a Sculpin head. So this is a trout line Sculpin head, it's actually small. I'll slide that over. Just making sure it's straight. There we go, nice and straight. Now what you need to do is just leave this to set. It doesn't take very long to set, it'll take a couple of seconds for it to be workable. So we'll leave that. I'm going to try and lower this down slightly just so you can maybe see the eyes a little bit better. Now what we need to do, next step again, grab your super glue gel and just put some super glue inside the little eyelets. There we go. So you've got super glue in those little eyelets there. And now you need some eyes. So I'm going to use these colour eyes here, like a dark red kind of colour. I really like the way they look. Obviously you can use any eyes you want. What we do is just going to put those down on top, just gently I'm putting them down. If you look at the Sculpins, they've got quite dark eyes anyway, so these are quite dark with a bit of red in them. And now I'm going to grab like a dubbing needle, just to position these, just to move them exactly where I want them. Oops, push that one a bit too hard. Once they're in position, I just push them down. So we'll put this one to the side, just to let all that vanish, super glue set. And I've actually got one sat here also that I finished earlier. So there is your finished product. A nice sculpin pattern with the fins sticking out each side. Nice long tail. And obviously this should hopefully bounce along the bottom, and the hook point hopefully won't catch on any of the rocks. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please leave a like. Also subscribe to my channel. That would be great. Honestly, you know, it's great to see how many subscribers I've got. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a good night, and I hope, yeah, just have a good night. Ciao.